Call the meeting to order.
You know where your other Larry is?
No, I do not. Well, we got a quorum, so we'll start. First thing is we have to ask, are we going to have any meeting date change because of the joint meeting must be?
Yeah.
Scheduled on the second Monday of August, is that what it is?
Yeah, what did we decide on that one? August, what, 14th? And
It is scheduled though, so they must be.
okay.
And the thing is that
So rather than having 3 meetings that month,
Yeah.
we could move the first Monday to the, just have meet the second and third Monday of August.
So the 7th and the 14th?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
That would work
First
for
and
me.
second, or second
The
and
first
third.
and the...
the second and
the-
third. Yeah, the second and third.
Oh, so you want to do 14th, 21st?
We're already meeting on the third Monday.
Your first one is the 7th. That's the first Monday.
Yeah, so either we drop the 21st or we drop the.
Does
Yeah, we
anybody
probably
have-
should do the 7th because we got 2 more Mondays after this Monday that we are not going to meet. That would make 3 Mondays.
So do the first and the second Mondays?
7th and 14th.
Yeah, I like that because that's going to be crazy.
but then the thing is it on the 14th one?
It's a joint meeting, but we have our meeting afterwards.
Could be kind of a long night. Are you coming
No.
back?
Not if we have the meeting.
We will stick to an agenda.
Probably be Jerry, I guess, I'm not
Okay.
sure. But I'll get it down for him.
If we stick to an agenda, it's not going to be long. It'll be just like an
I know, but the thing is that the agenda for the village and the town and the
But if we have a meeting the week before the joint meeting, we'll know if we're going to have a big
Right.
load going into the next
And the
week.
village doesn't have
And
anything
maybe-
they want to put on.
And maybe we might have to warn it half an hour ahead to have our
Yeah.
own meeting or something. What time
Okay.
is this one, the joint
I
meeting?
put it down for 6. Jonathan said they have nothing they wish to discuss.
well, no, but then the thing is that
No, I know, it's the initiative group will be.
right.
Yeah, but they're going to be there earlier. They're having their meeting earlier.
The trustees are?
The Enosburgh initiative is going in at 5:30.
Right.
Their meetings end at 6 when we start our joint meeting. Then
Right.
we're having our joint meeting.
Which could last until 7:30.
Okay.
I'm just throwing it out there.
So we should make a motion to make a change of agenda to change the date of the next meeting.
I'll move to change
To add it,
to
discussion.
add discussion regarding the change of meeting.
We have a second.
I'll second it.
The first and second to add the discussion of changing one of our meeting dates in August. Any more discussion? Having none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Alright, so we can talk about that
Oh,
later.
sugar.
We probably should get right on our agenda because we're a little bit behind here and get onto our minutes and
Okay.
a couple other people coming in early. So we're on July 10th meeting minutes.
You know this line right here? Should we be accepting that before?
Look at the next line. Upon proofing from town's attorney. Looks good.
And is the company name Levy, or is it, or that's the guy's names?
What?
Or,
Will Veve is the
Oh,
guy's
Will.
name.
but we should make a reference to,
No, because that wasn't in the minutes. This didn't just came.
Yeah, this is after.
This is after the fact.
So,
okay, I'm just asking. It's just not specific.
What? Specific to what? Why are you thinking it should say something like, motion approved by, upon proofing from the attorneys, like granted there are no issues?
No, the GM.
Yeah, but we just got that. We didn't get it here.
No, it's just the name of the company, that's all.
Oh,
You know, because this Will Levy, well.
Will
what's-
Veve,
Or Veve, it's.
the Veve project.
You know, what are they,
What are they called?
they are a representative of
Enosburgh Leach Estate Solar.
Bingo, LLC. I'm just asking. Because I don't see his name in this thing at all.
Well, it's not. He's the person who has the contract, which you have, is right here. This guy.
Right, see, that's the,
Right.
I don't know if we should be specific
That's
on it.
something.
Because if it ever came back. Just throwing it out. You know me.
and this should say July 17th up here, right?
Are you looking at the minutes?
This is our agenda.
Oh, yes, I made a mistake.
And I just noticed I also have two. You're not quite the same.
I had, okay, so this is the one. Because I put the rates on it.
Okay, so this should be on
Yeah.
this.
What's this Oklahoma thing? Or,
That was for the ambulance. With people buying the ambulance.
The ones that bought our,
Yeah.
they needed a
Fire truck? Ambulance. Fire truck.
Fire truck.
Fire truck, not an ambulance.
So, there was a motion to accept the minutes
Second.
I'll second it.
and seconded. Any more discussion? And having none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed say nay. Alright, so now next on the agenda is a review and a contract for the solar project.
Okay. The one that sticks out to me, I mean, obviously he says that this should be, I have, like I said, I have a sneaking suspicion that he probably do business in both. But this one right here, that one. Yeah, that one that you pointed out too. The exclusivity and default. It says the town cannot sign another contract during the term, but the contract allows them not to supply electricity for up to 300 days or more if the system operator declares a force majeure before you have the right to terminate, so you could miss out on projected savings. So if you can't sign another contract, but they have the right to withhold power for up to 300 days, what do you do? Yeah, it's this one.
And then at the same time, should we reference the school board's approval on them signing and the trustees' approval on them signing?
You could, but it's in both of their minutes.
Right, but we should make reference to that,
Absolutely.
that,
It's your minute.
you know, you probably wouldn't be able to pull them up, would you?
I can't pull the schools up. I don't know how they do theirs. I'll have to look.
I was talking to the school board. They got the same deal, 17%.
But it's more in, you know, if we were able to reference that. Personally, I would, just because the other two municipalities did this, then we kind of doing
I'll
it.
just mention it in the minutes right here.
Does it matter? I mean, he basically said, I'm selling it to 3 people. I got these. Do you want to be the third? We could say, no, we don't want to be the third. Go someplace else. Or we could say, yeah, we'll be the third.
Supposedly all three are equal.
Correct.
Because they said if we don't want it, they're giving it to the school.
They're going to give our allotment to the school.
Right, but that's the thing though, supposedly, that's why I'd like to have a record of it, so that, you know, in reviewing the villages, it states the same thing. In viewing the schools, it states the same thing.
Reviewing
Because-
the schools what?
Their so-called agreement on this.
Oh.
Because if you're raising the question of what you just read, how is it that it bypassed the school or the trustees on the question that you just arose?
Yeah, but these are, so Vaughn is just bringing.
Right.
Right.
They
See
might
what I'm
have had
saying?
the same things come to them and they just didn't think it was a big enough issue.
Right.
There's one other thing. He may have brought it up, but you got a termination here, but this termination just talks about if they're saying we're going to start it at this date and we have the right to terminate if it doesn't start within basically 6 months of it.
180 days,
Yeah,
But what if you're 10 years into this project and they have a huge issue with the panels and
Right.
yeah, we have earlier it says we can't get a contract with anybody else within 300 days. But what if it's never going to happen again? The project's done.
So there's 120 days in there, that, right? Is that what you're saying, Larry?
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, what if the project fails? There should be some wording in here. If it fails, they should do due diligence, not wait a year until this fails. We know it's going to
Right.
fail after 6 months. We need to go back to the original agreement with Water and Light, which I'm thinking we're not buying 100% of our power from them. It's only a percentage.
Right.
And I think the way it's worded, you can't go get another contract for that amount
Don't
from
know.
somebody else.
Right.
Hi there.
But
Are you guys discussing that?
no,
No?
no,
Okay.
okay,
Keep me informed.
yep.
must be above our head, huh? So I don't think it's a big deal. It's not a huge percentage, but
What is the duration of this contract?
it's 20 years, I believe.
Is
I
it?
think it's projected life, which I have a hard time believing it's gonna last 20 years, but how long did they tell you yours was gonna last, or your camper? Is it expected? Is that a life expected?
Yeah,
Oh,
20
really?
years
I didn't realize they were that long.
my mechanical part of my panel is 10-year warranty. And then the panels themselves are 20 years warranty.
Very good.
And the thing is that they want this thing signed sooner than later.
He was here last week, like they said, and he said that he would like it signed and given to him as soon as possible. It, like you read in the minutes, it was approved pending Vaughn's
Right,
instructions.
right.
And if we don't want to do it, they're just going to kick the extra
Over the school.
over to the school.
I have Will's number if somebody wanted to call.
Should we call him? Term and termination. Okay. Early termination. System owner terminating rights. System owner shall have the right but not the obligation to terminate this agreement upon 30 days prior to written notice to customer. Oh, that's owner termination.
And you also need to make a note that Vaughn's bill for this,
Oh yeah.
the VV, will VV's will pay for
We'll
it.
pay for it. Um. Customer fails to make any. It's all about like if we fail to hold up our end of the bargain, but
Now the thing is that how? Well, take a look there on page 6,
Yeah, it's-
9, section A. If requested by the system owner, customers shall provide system owner with copies of all utility bills and invoices received by the customer from the utility with respect to the customer's meters. And the allocations of any net metering credit thereof. Does that mean customer may satisfy?
that's us. It's our buildings, it's the library.
right.
Yeah, but it's all the people in the community, right?
No, it's
No.
these specific buildings that are going to be getting the rates
It's
changed.
just the town buildings.
I think they got it listed in the back here.
Opera House, Fire Station.
Yeah, in the
here.
very, very back. Exhibit C. Get 2, 4, 7 different state meters.
Um.
It says on page, whatever it is, to the page. Not to the page here either. Page just for the last page. Since the customer shall pay the system owner a fee for the net metering credits.
I know. I was reading that very same thing on a different page, on page 5,
Oh, yeah.
where the system output. It says, customers' utility charges for the customer meters may exceed the net metering credits attributable to the output of the system for such billing period. Oh, for instance, if the customer's utility usage exceeds the output of the system, the customer is solely responsible for paying any and all utility charges in excess of the net metering credits. Is that that's what you were just reading? No, is that different?
Well, basically, it says, it said, fee for the net metering credits equal to 83% of the net metering credit value attributed to the output of the system, and allotted to the customer meters. System owner shall invoice customer monthly based on the actual net metering credits applied to the utility to customers' electric bills based on the output of the system.
What section is that? Section 10, 12.
I think the thing is, I think it puts
Yeah, the system.
light on what Terry's mentioned.
Oh, that's not. This was at the back page of these last week.
Yeah.
Can you see? Very tiny name. But it says monthly solar service agreement payment. Does that mean you pay him? I think that's what you're talking about in there. It seems like we would pay them. I don't understand any of this, just so you know, but I guess because you have your stuff up at the farm, maybe you know what's going on.
No, we don't.
So I don't know what that is, but
So-
maybe that's referencing what Terry is talking
This
about.
system is going to be just for the 3 customers here in the village.
He said we will max it out. They're not opening it commercially.
Yeah, it's just for these 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so if they overproduce, I mean, they won't produce more than what we'll use, the 3 customers will use, right?
I couldn't even guess at that.
I'm thinking they are, but they also always gonna hold that buffer to use it in case they do underproduce. They'll have a.
You see, I'm just wondering if this is going to work, the same way mine. I mean, of course, I'm just a residential situation, but
Right.
if I overproduce and if I don't use these credits within 12 months, I lose them. I lose them back to the light plant. And yeah, oh yeah.
So you get gypped.
Oh yeah, I mean, I pay for the equipment. I pay for the equipment to produce electricity, but then if I don't use it in 12 months, the light people get it back.
Now, the thing is that I'm just throwing it out there. If it's just the 3 of us, is the light plant included? I mean, the cheese plant included in this?
No.
No.
So what
It's
would
literally just the municipalities.
happen if there was a company that approached the cheese plant?
They could, a different company, or even that company, they produce more.
It won't happen though because this utility is only obligated to buy so much percentage of renewable energy, and this is going to max that out. They don't want to buy more than they have to because they can buy their power cheaper than what this project they're going to have to pay a higher fee for.
Mm-hmm.
So they want to cap it out. So if there's going to be another customer beyond, Enosburgh Water and Light's going to turn them down because they're only required to buy so much renewable energy credit, and this project's going to max that out.
Okay. Bye.
You don't follow me?
I do, but the thing is that what stops
Let's see.
what stops that other company from just coming in and saying you can't turn me down?
Because the state
It's going to mandate it.
the state pays, or it's a requirement. The state put in legislation that they are going to require a utility company to buy this percentage at this higher price to offset it, anyways. And if this utility has met their obligation, the state can turn that project down.
So the only way it could change is if the state.
Or
passes
it'll
their
be
threshold.
on their own this project won't get this higher fee. It'll be okay, you can produce it, but it's at the rate of where everybody else. That's
I'm just throwing it out because it's one of those.
That's what I'm assuming. Yeah, it's
The public service board's gonna watch this anyways.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
it's
I don't see the
scrutinized pretty good.
I don't see the 300 days that Von's talking about. All I see is 120 or 180.
Okay, so section
Keep adding this,
10B.
but it's not adding. 10B, right
Okay,
there.
so what page are you on?
10B is located on page 6. Hi, Joey. You can
Hello?
sit there. Fisk isn't coming, apparently.
I will. I promise.
10B,
I
just,
think it's because he's adding 121.
I know, but it says right here, it says output during any continuous 120-day period or for 180 days. They're not, and it's not together.
Yeah, you're right.
And it basically says if we fail, if there is no due diligence if you lose power up to 120 days and there's no due diligence that they're trying to fix it, then they are considered in default. Or if we do something that fails for them to give us power in 120 days, then we're in default. But yeah, 120 days, where does that other power come from? I don't know.
But the thing is that, or I mean, I don't know how come it's written like that, because if you go through 120 days, so you do 119,
Well, so
come back on.
well, no, that's what they say: continuous 120 or 180 days in a 12-month period. So let's say it goes out for 20 days here, comes back on 20 days here, but if it adds up to 180 days in a 12-month period, then and they're not doing anything to fix that, then they're in default. Or if there's a continuous 120 days and they're not doing anything to fix it, then they're in default.
I don't read it that way because what's throwing me is a continuous.
Yeah, continuous 120 days in a row. 120 in a row. Continuous. And the second one is 100 days during any 12-month period. Or,
Yeah, I don't see where the 300 comes in.
yeah, he added 120 and 180 for some reason. I'm thinking.
I don't know if you want to continue this, but he has a tight schedule, so he has to get rolling with that.
Yeah, let's table this until. Yeah, we'll go until after both Joey and Tim are done.
Okay.
It's basically 6:35. We're going to table that solar project discussion. We'll go on to. You're going to be here for both of them,
Yeah.
so we might as well start with Tim and.
Yep.
We'll go with Tim and an agenda for Lee Ops. One for
which as
everybody?
I look at it, did Sean send this?
Yeah. Well, we've written all over it, but he did send that initially.
Okay, because he hasn't got the updated one.
Oh, that's the one he sent.
Oh, okay. So Joey's probably got the updated one because he marked on his last year before.
No, but well, this is the one that I got this year. I marked up, but yeah, I didn't look at what I've got at the garage.
Because we deleted a lot of these things that are already, that say delete. But as long as it's on there, Sean will delete them anyhow. Or he should. Some of the ones that you have added have questions. Remember, most of these in Planning Task 2 come from the Tier 2 reports. So if somebody doesn't file a Tier 2, that's why they don't get in there. Let's say you have some, like McDonald's. McDonald's would not be filing a Tier 2 report. They're food service. It's that look.
All right, so let's.
What is this?
That is the local emergency operator.
Oh, okay. This one?
Oh, that's
No?
that's planning tasks.
Okay.
Basically, what this is the planning
Okay.
task one is high risk populations.
Okay.
So daycare,
Right.
nursing facilities. They do count religious facilities as being a part of that. Any of the family practice, anywhere where you're going to have people, either that kids, elderly adults, or people congregating
Right.
in that sense. So
Okay. So in the event of an emergency, these places to kind of go first.
yeah, these were
Okay.
these places that basically this whole thing is set up. If something happens in an emergency, they really spark the discussions.
Okay.
It's really a checklist to take us through what's called the incident command system.
Okay.
And so we're not having to think out there in the blue. We're actually looking at the list and saying, oh, yeah, we need to be thinking about, did we think about Brownway?
So did you get a chance to go over this?
No, I hadn't seen this before tonight. The last one I saw was the one I sent 4 months ago to him.
I don't have that one.
Yeah, so this is the first that I've actually seen. I mean, it's the same plan every year, but
Yeah.
we had made changes the last time we got together to that plan, and some of them I can see didn't get made.
Yeah.
And those were all sent to him. But regardless of that, this time we send it to him and he'll make the changes. So,
Yeah.
So you want to just start from the beginning again? Just
yeah.
or have you got time or?
Yeah, let's just, because there's not much to run through.
This was 5/22/17. When did you send yours to?
I don't know, I'd have to look, but it was a little before that.
Yeah.
So, just Larry taking your work number off. Everything else is correct on there, that as far as we know? Looks like it.
Peters, John.
One thing I had question, have one of you guys had the ICS 402 or 100? I know
Training?
Lloyd had at one time.
Yeah, and
I haven't.
that's a good question, because that's something that needs to be done. Because one of the things that'll happen is if,
Certified individual must
Yeah.
have taken. So you're the individual, right? But and this is just us
right,
signing off on it.
yeah,
Not saying that.
Yeah, somebody from the select board has to complete ICS 402 or 100 or the community is not eligible for reimbursement by FEMA.
Oh,
That's part of the Homeland Security regulations.
You probably had the 100, haven't you? Must be.
You've taken ICS training, right?
Yeah.
So,
You have too, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
so,
so
maybe you should put Terry's name on there and cross mine out.
that would cover us, like, because he's a member of the,
Select board.
yeah. So as long as you all authorize him to as a certifying agent, he's taken the training, which meets the requirement, yes.
Yeah, because I definitely have not.
Yeah.
Pay raise.
That to be a paper.
Yeah, I wouldn't go running off quite yet.
So let's. If we all in agreement,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And then BJ, you're gonna have to change the email.
I'm making the changes right now.
Do you have to make changes to the copy you sent, Tim, 4 months ago?
No, because
It was
you're
revised.
making
I'm making the
changes,
changes, yeah.
and if those go back to Sean, he'll make the
Well, wait a
changes from
minute.
that, and I'll just. let
I,
you
the
know.
select board chair, certify this local operation plan has been adopted.
Certifying individual must have taken. Yeah. You can't certify without having that training.
So you can.
But it doesn't mean that
Remember,
I'm the one that's saying that this individual, but it,
Oh, and does it have to be
Are you
select
doing it
board
right on the
chair?
form, or are you doing
I
it no?
am. I think if you read it and say, I, Terry Wright, member of the select board, certify that this is gonna, I think you can write it in like that and it
Yeah,
will be proper.
Well, it says
and Sean will adjust it.
that the certifying individual must have taken.
Yeah.
being the select board chair or town manager, if you're the certifying individual, then you must have taken.
So have we checked with John to see if he's certified?
I don't know if he
I don't believe it. I teach most of those courses and he's never been in one of mine, so unless he took it from somebody else.
So he shouldn't be on there either then.
Right, he shouldn't be. Yeah, that would be a question for him.
When's that certification come up?
I don't know when the next one. Of course, right now I'm not teaching him because I just went to work for the state of Vermont, so I can't contract and work for him too. And so I don't know when the next 402 is.
But you let us know.
100 you can actually take online, and the online does in fact cover the ICS 100 online does cover the requirement to having had taken the training.
Oh, okay.
No.
That's an independent study course.
Okay.
Takes about an hour.
An hour?
Yeah.
Is there a fee?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, it's FEMA. Yeah,
So we probably should look at it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Probably, because
Okay.
you never know when I'm gonna retire, Terry's gonna retire.
Or we're all gonna retire.
I'm closer to retirement age than anybody else.
So,
Okay.
so
Oops, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, who's gonna start at the top?
So response and recovery guidelines. This is real. This is just a checklist, or not just a checklist, but if something happens, this is the checklist and the steps that we take during time of emergency.
Okay.
And it's basically just for us. Do we have somebody in this case that's an incident commander? Is there an incident command post? Now, some of these things may, be in place. They may not be, but that's what we're really looking at as we go down through the checklist. And then delegating authorities. Basically, as the select board, whenever anything emergency happens in the community, legally, you delegate the authority to whoever the responding individual is. It's one of the things that when I work with fire departments, I say to them, have you ever seen your written delegating authority for your department? And whenever I meet with select boards, I say, do you know where the delegating authority is? Because most of these things have been in place for so many years, it's like, no, we don't actually. But what this does is, whoever the incident commander is, legally, you as a select board delegate authority to that individual.
To handle them.
Yeah. An example would be, and probably the example we'd probably see most often, but not always, Mark LaRose or an officer, the highest ranking officer of the fire department. So a part of that is we're just making sure, is that the authority that's delegated to the individual? And normally that delegation of authority is something you've already done previously. Because I'm guessing that other than those of you that do respond to all the calls, you probably don't all want to get up and respond to every call to delegate authority to somebody you've already given it to. But there are things that sometimes happen where we have to go back and take a look and just make sure that it was delegated. If there is a request for emergency declaration, basically at that, we did it winter storm, wasn't it?
Yeah, no winter storm.
And basically in that case, I put it together, presented it, Pierre took it, did the sign off. That's just somebody from the select board saying, hey, state of Vermont, we may need additional assistance from you, so we as a town are declaring this as a local emergency. But of course, before we can do that, it has to be accepted by the state, saying that in fact we've done. But that's basically what that does. It then allows us to say to the state, we as a town have declared this an emergency, so if we reach a point where we need additional assistance, we can now make that request. So for that assistance.
And is it safe to say that those numbers are still good?
Yes, yeah, because those are state numbers. DEMHS is now, by the way, VEM again. They just went through a total reorganization, which Sean knows, so he'll probably make that change anyway. And then same things. You get number 4, alerting the general population. Again, just that's the trigger to say, hey, how are we doing? Have we let the people know? Because so many things go on.
Yeah, you're like, whoop, we never told anybody.
Yeah, and things are happening, and we're moving along, and pretty quick it's like, oh wait, did we tell anybody? We see the people crowded around that have already listened, but we haven't told everybody. Activate the Emergency Operations Center. And later in the guide, it lists the facilities that we have said we would probably use, public safety building being one of them, if we have to set up an emergency operations center. Shelter coordinator, same thing. We have a shelter coordinator designated. That is the correct number still for the Red Cross.
Okay.
The whole number 7, expand the ICS structure. If you take that incident command system training, that's where that starts to make sense, because that's basically why they have you take it, because this document follows that. But that basically means we need more people. The more people we get, we also have to have somebody that's responsible for managing those people, and we have to keep that within a reasonable span of control. So that's basically all this is. Again, 8, is this something that's going to be over? We've responded, it's a 3-hour incident, we go home? Or is this something that it's 2 or 3 days? And interestingly, for example, the block fire in town, some folks would say that was over when the fire equipment left. I think there are probably others that would say, no, that's not true. So some of these things go on and on for a length of time, so you get additional operational shifts. And this is really to spark us saying, who in the heck are we going to get to come in and do something, especially if we brought in other people to help. To try to help manage this or support it, because after we get so far into it, it gets really tough to start to re-pull and get people to come in and to give the time. Plus, we've got to let people go and sleep as well. So, damage assessment. This is something that goes on quite consistently. Joey probably gets more calls than anybody, I'm guessing, Joey, on assessment, because from the perspective of roads, highways, bridges, even though it's all part of the same system, VTrans really gets actively involved in that, and I guess VTrans is still heading it up right now. Once in a while they shift it off. So they're really active in that on an ongoing basis, but it really is, it's like, hey Joey, what's happening? And they'll call me at the same time. VTrans is talking to Joey. Oftentimes I'll get a call from Vermont Emergency Management, and it's like, look, if you pick up on any other damage in your community, make sure you let us know.
List, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, usually they're in touch to see how much damage, so they can get a consensus throughout the state how much damage there is, and then they determine whether they're going to apply for some federal assistance or not.
The emergency repairs process, and this is stuff that to take care of what needs to be taken care of now, but also maintain. The important part of that is maintaining the records, because there can never be the big thing, what it comes down to at some point when that stuff happens, it all ends up here on the table, either here at the village, depending on where it takes place, but it all comes back to the dollars and cents at some point, and making sure that it's in here, and not only doing it, but making sure it's documented. That's probably the word that should be capitalized. Because one of the things about FEMA, or any funding source, but primarily FEMA funds, if there's no document, there's no money coming from them. Yeah. And they only pay up to what they would normally pay. They have a federal guideline and everything, so it has to be totally documented. And then moving down further, it provides additional information about doing that. You can never take too many photos.
Right.
You can never take too many
exactly.
notes. Right, Joey?
Yeah.
You've been through this before, so.
The 20th anniversary of the flood was Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then, so 12, federal declaration, 406 mitigation. That's really, and Enosburgh has gotten, I think we've gotten some 406. We've gotten some mitigation funds. That's really money that becomes available for, at some point, same culvert has gone out every year. Or an example I use when I teach is on the Waugh Farm Road. For years and years, the farm that was at the end of the Waugh Farm Road had mobile homes that there's the people that worked for them lived in. Every year in the spring, when the Siskoid would come up, and it would wash through those mobile homes. And so they'd be sheltered, they'd be fed for however many weeks it was. The water would go back down, they'd go home. Next spring, the water would come up, but there was no money. The farmer couldn't afford it. They
Right.
certainly couldn't, because what they were getting paid was food money, and they were given these trailers.
Right.
Finally, there was 406 mitigation money during one of the floods, and what it did is that land went away. It became federal land.
Right.
So the community loses the tax base, so it's not
Right.
as easy. But the thing is, they also didn't have to every spring respond. These mobile homes, when we went in after the mitigation, you could stand at one end and you could see the floors as they went over
Oh
over the
god.
beams and the floors. But that's what 406 is. But it's also a way to make, keeping up. And then you've done some culverts, right, under
Yeah,
mitigation?
just finished one today. Well, it's
Yeah.
not completely finished, but that's the funding for the
Yeah.
box culvert we just did before.
So
up for
some
the-
of those things that communities
Hazard
have,
mitigation.
it's tough to pull that extra money if you can pull that mitigation money in.
Right.
It all builds on all this other stuff.
That's
Right.
where documentation comes in. Every time you
Yes.
have one of those events, document
Right.
pictures,
Oh, right.
expense, and stuff.
Like look, it happened
That's
again.
how
Look,
they-
it happened again. Yeah.
That's how they base the project off of that
Yeah.
cost
Oh,
analysis.
Not
Their
right.
project is pretty good. They're getting it all in, and they have an inch thunderstorm, and they can take pictures of it going through the
Going
new
through.
culvert.
Look at
Right.
that.
That's
Didn't
right.
take
Yeah.
anything
Happened a
out.
couple times today.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
And then the after action and developing the improvement plan, that's one of the things that they tend to look at, and usually for bigger things. I mean, the day-to-day types of responses, oftentimes those take place, but nobody's documenting them other than having a discussion. But something larger, having that after action is also a great way, another source of documentation. If there are grant funds that come up and they come back and say, well, what do you need those grant funds for? And if you can go to an after action and say, well, look, right here, this is what we said, and part of our improvement plan was.
This batch of money was funded through after Irene.
Yeah,
So it takes a disaster like that, and then afterwards they release a bunch of money to
right.
mitigate some of these ongoing problems.
Yeah, and especially if you can tag on, we can tag on to stuff that they make available to the entire state, or usually if they declare a county, even if your community wasn't affected, things like mitigation money, all communities within the county are eligible. So there's,
Yeah.
you just have to. So then planning tasks, that really is, and like in this one, starting off, planning task 1 is, what are the places that we might have to evacuate if something were to happen in the community? And that something could be whatever, but, and just really going down through. So that's where the daycares come from. And certainly the ones that are closed, it makes sense, we'll just have them, he'll go in and delete them. The schools.
Now, the thing is, like on Sean Tag,
Yeah.
because it's got Sid Berkson, it's crossed out with that phone number, so that phone number should be crossed out too.
Where are you?
Right on.
Oh, you're on the next page?
Right.
Oh, main marketplace.
Yeah, because,
Yeah, it should be the current business phone number.
yeah,
Oh, what about Notch?
Oh, and one of the reasons that some of these aren't,
Right.
some of these facilities, not so much these here, but anything that's a hazmat storage site, and I'm not sure where they got that category because it's not a tier 2. Anything that's hazmat normally is a tier 2 facility. Sean may make the change, but generally how that change gets made is when the next tier 2 is filed. So we can put it in there and then he can make the decision at the regional planning if he's going to make that adjustment or wait for the tier 2. But
What do you mean tier 2?
tier 2 is any business that has hazardous materials that meet a certain threshold
Okay.
have to file a report every year with the local
Okay.
emergency planning committee, the state emergency response commission. Copies of that go to the local fire department,
Gotcha.
and it's basically there's and they pay a fee based on that.
So if he says, I don't meet the threshold for hazardous,
Yeah, I'm not
then
sure.
I'm not going to do tier 2.
Well, yeah, and
Somebody
he,
has
right.
the opportunity
Yeah,
to do that?
yeah,
Okay.
and he doesn't. Right, and he like
Okay.
and there. I can't think of unless anybody, Terry or Joe, I can't think of anything that would be at my marketplace that would meet the threshold. Can you?
No.
I don't either.
I mean, not even the laundromat would
They
have.
got propane in there for some of the stuff.
Like
but I
right
don't think
outdoor,
it's-
like camping fuel, but
I don't think it's
Yeah,
much.
no, it's such a small
Small
quantity that
quantity,
it doesn't
yeah.
meet
I
the-
wouldn't say so.
And agricultural businesses are exempt from the reporting, which is another thing we always have to take in because it's
right.
you know, for the folks in Sheldon, down at Bordeaux Brothers, has always been a major issue, but they don't. Some of them choose to, but because there's money attached, many of them choose not to, and they
right.
don't have to. But
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and Brownway, I don't know where, that's good that that's there, because Brownway has always been on this list, I don't know.
So even though like Border Brothers is actually a business because they're farm,
Because
right?
they're agriculture, they meet the agriculture.
So how would a school fall into what would they have for hazmat stuff?
Probably the
Cleaning
school
products.
is,
Fuel.
Oh,
yeah,
the
yeah.
they have fuel tanks,
and I'm guessing
right.
it is, based on the
Okay.
fuel.
We have to do that every year for the garage.
Right,
So,
okay.
Yeah.
so
That's
we didn't
good.
for a few years, but we're back on track.
Gotcha.
Very, yeah, the
Because of
same.
fuel tanks.
And it's also, it can, in schools, another thing that falls under the purview, even though they may not have to they may not have to file a tier 2, it is the laboratories.
Oh, well, the
School-
chemicals, yeah.
School laboratories have become a pretty major issue across the
Yeah,
country.
for sure.
Actually, even sand and gravel are considered
Really?
because of the silicon
Because of
in the
the
sand.
in the
Yeah.
sand?
Yeah,
Look
and
at the
gravel.
sand. Interesting.
So yeah,
Okay.
again, I think sending these same changes that are noted here does make sense. And this is the ones that say tier 2. Basically what this says is whenever Bates filed their last tier 2, they actually still listed Tim as the primary contact.
I got you.
But if we put that in there, then, because Sean can go in and manually do this as well. And then he'll confirm it.
Okay, on page 7, Franklin Food has the manager no response. Does nobody know who it is, or, I mean, is that why it was
Why
wrote
don't
that
you
way?
mark it?
Yeah, I'm not sure who's is that.
It'd be John Ovitt, is he,
Don't have it.
All right, so we done on 5 or no? You jumped on us.
I did? Oh,
Yeah.
okay, well, I don't.
It's just more of the same, isn't it?
No, it's a different, it's Plan Task 2.
Did you correct this one on page 6? Here, yeah. You must add that.
Yes, Gary.
Gary Denton?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what kind of sparked me. It's like, all right, I wonder how come that's not in there, because we talked at length about Gary and how they were splitting up responsibilities. But then I know we had changed Dan.
Now, the thing is that,
Did you get a new one?
No. Well, not with the new, not with
Wasn't
all
it
your
some-
guys' notes,
wasn't
just
there-
my own
how come,
notes.
how come
I
there's,
just have my own.
even though we got government facility right here
There's an
for the
extra
reservoir
one.
world, how come we don't have the water treatment plant?
We do.
It was?
Right here. Oh,
On
your village water.
That's 2 different things.
Oh,
on page 7, they didn't have us as tier 2, which, like I said, we are now. We're back in compliance with that. So.
Yeah, and that may
So
be
that-
why it may be the same thing, but I don't know the answer to that, because again, that's one that we had added.
oh, here it is. Oh, those are pumping stations, water treatment. Right there.
Oh, yeah, but that's on page
So
9,
it used
on
to
a
be
different,
tier 2 now?
Yeah.
It's still under the.
Oh, wastewater treatment is, are you looking for the wastewater treatment?
It's on
That's
the
actually on page 9.
See all these, the hazmat storage
yeah, but
sites,
what's the
they all
difference
say,
in between planning task and
tier
then,
2, tier 2, tier
Planning task number 2.
major high hazard.
okay.
Yeah,
Now,
and
what-
those are basically places we want to make sure we check for damage, depending on what the actual incident is.
Okay, so we're on page 8 now?
sure. What about
Did we ever figure out about Franklin Foods here? I mean, we're jumping around here, so.
I know, that's why we should be going, like,
Didn't you say it was John Ovitt?
John Ovitt is the manager.
Okay, I wrote it
You
down.
put that name down?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I would use him, yeah. If whenever we call, he's one.
What about Maple Fields?
They're up on page 7.
all right, well,
Oh, okay. Oh, right there. Okay. Hey.
And whoever put, I don't know where
I
the note.
heard Joey say that they are tier 2 now. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Garage.
Okay.
Yeah, and we will get the actual tier 2. Anything that's been filed will actually be uploaded to Sean.
Okay. Oh, there's a question mark McDonald's on the.
Yeah, McDonald's doesn't, because McDonald's, first of all, unless anybody else knows of any hazardous materials that are in a quantity that are reportable, they don't have any reportable quantities. and they don't have people there long enough for us to consider that. And it's not that we wouldn't check if it was something going on and we're driving right by, we would probably stop and get
Oh,
coffee
I
and
see
check
what
on
you're
the
saying.
It's page 8. I didn't know.
Oh, we're on page 8.
Okay. Page 8.
That's where they're.
Oh yeah, bond. Somebody wrote bond. Or O'Reilly.
Yeah, it's actually O'Reilly.
It is.
But again, it depends on their quantities and what their reportable quantities are.
Like with oil and.
Yeah, about 55-gallon drums. I mean, there should be.
But again, if they don't, they have to meet the threshold of whatever all those quantities are combined. So if they don't meet and for some, they may not have filed as bonds, because bonds may file as the complete overarching company, and who knows what O'Reilly's is going to do, which is if it didn't show up on here, that's probably why it's not there. But it's still good for us to raise the question.
Right.
Now, Larry, about McDermott's, is that a good phone number, or should they call the phone number, or at the top?
Yeah, 'cause that's
I
still,
would, if that's the number up there.
that's still the garage, right?
That's the garage, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Transports and repairs. So important.
R&D's gone.
You said you had some notes, Joey?
Well, I just with the Village of Enosburgh, I said they had Jonathan. Maybe they should have like for the dam. Maybe have Dave Wescombe.
Yeah, because that's
As
what
well.
that's what we had put down before we'd taken John right off, right?
That could
For
be.
the dam.
That could be. Yeah.
So put Dave, take Jonathan out, put Dave Wescombe.
I would think.
Where did I see that? Oh. Right. What was the first name?
David.
Dave.
It's the same thing when we got to sewage, the pumping station, and the wastewater too. We put in.
I got a note. Rodney and Brian are
Yeah.
got to keep up with the ones retiring here. But
So the thing is the sewage and the water and the wastewater, those are two different phone numbers, or is it the same location, same number? Because you got crossed out one on one, but
It's two different. It's different locations.
it's different locations. It should probably, I'm sure it must be different numbers. Well, they had all the. I assume that must be numbered to the village office.
The 44433 is to the village office.
Right, but these other ones must be Jonathan's
6669.
number. You got 6669 and
Either that or right
4601.
to the sewer plant.
But I,
Be the phone number there.
but you, yeah.
yeah, but we should be having the phone numbers of the locations, right?
Right.
That is the location. It's just the wrong name. Who runs the sewage plant?
Yeah, but you
Right
said
here.
on the wastewater one that the village,
That's the village office.
right? But that's not where the treatment plant is. So we should have a.
Correct.
Yeah.
It should have the treatment plant's phone number.
Yeah.
Like the highway garage, they have the 4443, which is the office, and 4601. I don't know what that is, but the number at their garage is 2805. So I don't know.
Yeah. See, and this is again all stuff that they reported. That's what always makes this process interesting. Yeah. Their report. That's what the numbers that
Well,
they
maybe,
show on their
maybe
report.
that's the way they want it.
Well, both us and the village are supposed to sign off, so it seems like
Yeah, they
should
probably
correct
got
the changes.
they probably got a copy as well. If
Yeah.
Sean sent a copy here, he would have sent a copy to the village as well. Because he and I have a long-standing debate. Officially, emergency management is a town function and covers all of the town, regardless of its village property or town. And this is one of the few places where he actually sends them to both, just because he gets hounded so bad by one or the, never from the town, but from the village if he doesn't send it to them. That is not for official notation. I don't care, you can put in official notation.
Well, you can because you're on the camera.
Right,
that
but the thing is that this information did get sent down to them, so they should be
Correcting.
correcting,
Yes,
and then
right, yeah.
we're gonna get an updated version, and then approve it.
From Sean, yes. Yeah, he would make the corrections and send it back for approval. Yeah.
So maybe that'll happen before the 14th. Vermont tank wash. Okay, so
That's
it's-
Greens, yeah.
Okay,
V-Trans garage here, this is a different, I don't know who this Ernest Aingeart is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Tim Wilson's the foreman up here at the garage now.
Tim Wilson.
Yeah, and is Ernest the regional guy?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, it has the St. Albans number. Well, that's regional. 5926. 524.
Yeah, 'cause I think Ernest is the fellow that covers this whole area.
Gotcha.
Well, last time we put Tim Wilson.
5958 is regional.
Yeah, 5958. I know the 59.
Yeah,
You're
5926 is the District 8 garage.
Oh, okay.
Office in St. Albans. 2159 is up here to the garage.
Okay.
okay, so move on to page 10.
Well, do we need, these extras gonna have to be added on?
What would Leach's Pit have that you would put on there?
Yeah, I don't
Want to
even
have
know.
want to have fuel tanks?
Well,
Yeah, but again, are
it's
they
not easy.
within threshold limits? I don't know.
Do they have tanks?
Well, they would have to have
Tanks,
operate
they got
the
one or two
equipment.
sitting on top of the ground up there.
Oh, yeah,
Little
yeah.
office.
Yeah, they probably got more fuel around here than we do at the garage, actually. I don't know
Yeah.
how much.
Again, we can put it in there, but if they don't report and haven't been forced, I mean, for some reason, they haven't been required to report at this particular point. And again, without looking, we wouldn't know. We'd have to see what they have for quantities of particular fuels. But we can certainly add them. Again, what would Vermont tank wash? Are they using any chemical-based cleaners?
Acids and all that. I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know what they are using up there.
Yeah.
What's that, Vermont?
Vermont tank wash.
Where's
For
that?
Greens.
Greens? Oh, okay. I didn't know that was their name.
And when they update, I mean, because they've been pretty good as a corporation of reporting tier 2. So being that they're fairly new, they may have reported this time around. They may just not have made it here too. So if we note it, then that way Sean can check the current database.
Now,
And go ahead.
I didn't see anything about the armory on here anywhere.
Yep.
They should be on.
Yeah, they were on there.
Oh, it is. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
so-
I didn't see it. All right.
Now the thing is that with our solar panel system coming in,
Yeah.
where does that classify?
Is it going to have anything
I
that
wouldn't
is
say anything.
Yeah, I
probably?
would-
Yeah, I'm thinking not. Right.
Would be hazardous.
No, there's nothing.
There's no batteries and
No.
It's just hooked up right to those lines. Right
I'm just asking. I mean,
Yeah.
It just goes back onto the grid.
Yep.
And if it was, I'm sure, Vermont, when they went through the permit process, it would have been bumped up to let us know.
Yeah.
well, we hope. I mean, just because of that size.
You got these farms like St. Pierre and well, you just pump right back on the grid, don't you? Huh?
Yeah, just like electrical lines. There's
Okay.
Planning task 3. That's just locations that we have talked about that we could use as local emergency operations centers.
Point of contact for American Legion
Dean Scott Senior.
Senior.
Yeah.
Is that still that's still the case? Okay.
Yeah.
I just saw it was circled. I wasn't sure.
Now the thing is that isn't that the Legion number? 4142?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Legion.
I know, but
It says facility on
Yeah, that is the number at the facility.
You whistling at me?
Somebody's whistling.
Okay. Keep on moving on.
Okay. Just like a list.
Yeah, that's basically
Planning
right.
task. Okay.
Who is maintaining the
For each of those.
yeah, and most of those on these local emergency operations plan end up being blank.
Right.
I mean, you can fill them in, but we can also use them when we're larger communities have an agency that's assigned all of these
Right.
things.
There might be a different
Plan.
person for a specific
Correct.
one, and this one,
Right.
you're gonna write that person in. And
Yeah.
It'd be alternating names. I guess.
Okay, and this is, I'm assuming P and S is primary, secondary? Is that what that's for?
Yeah, primary support.
Oh, primary support, yeah,
Yep.
okay.
Shelters are the facilities that have been previously, basically it's the same facilities, the two schools, the Methodist Church, the parish hall,
Okay,
again the Legion, and the Masonic Hall. It's basically the
And David's phone number's still good?
no. David's phone number is not still good, and he doesn't carry a pager. David's phone number is 782-6345, and no pager.
And then from there, the other contact? What's in that reference to?
That's the facility's contact number, I believe. Yeah, because like in the case of the
school.
the hall, it's yours.
Okay.
Okay,
Let me just confirm, make sure I gave us the right number.
He's in a few places.
Health resources. What's that, NAs?
Yeah, 782-6345.
Okay, maps.
As far as, of course, I don't know, he hasn't got any of the maps attached in what he sent you, right? Because there is, oh yeah, he did.
Yeah, I put these maps on the back.
What, was there one of the bridges before? Joey, did your copy have one from before? The older copy?
Of the bridges.
Yeah.
Facility and services, which is looking at.
Yeah, that one's, yeah, facilities and services and then transportation system, which is just the roads.
Yeah. One
Yeah,
of these specific to the bridges, you said, or?
Yeah, well, there was just a question here. Ask Sean about bridges. Why no Matt?
Oh.
I'm not sure
Board
that.
asked for one.
Oh,
I was wondering
okay.
why there was no bridges showing.
What do the numbers correlate to?
You don't have that equipment? Concrete cutters, we've got.
Which numbers?
We have
On the,
two flat
on the
saw.
top, like here, so like these.
Yeah, you can cut some cement with it.
What do those correlate to?
Multiple processor for hydraulic.
I am
No.
not sure.
Excavator? No?
Because he doesn't have the key on here.
Isn't that the jaws of life?
We have the jaws of life. We have, porta power and stuff like that. But
I mean,
Yeah, and I
should we
think
be
if you
updating
guys
this?
want it, I'm sure he can pull up the bridges and.
I updated some stuff for the highway.
Good.
Which wasn't, some stuff wasn't on there.
Yeah, and the typed resources, which is before the maps, or is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, typed resources, there hasn't been, this was actually at one point being pulled from, there was an overall, the state was working on an overall typed resource list, because any community that got Homeland Security funds at some point had to report all of the types and kinds of equipment that they have. But that's been a project that has kind of ebbed and flowed, and it's, I'm not sure, and it may have reached completion now, but the last I knew they hadn't completed it. So this has been kind of in flux. Any community that wants to undertake it, it's always nice to have all of that information, but it's a pretty big undertaking. Most of so many smaller communities, other than the individual departments, haven't undertaken it overall.
Yeah, I noticed here, like for, let's see, on road dump truck I have, it's down as 5 trucks we have. Well, 4. 1 3 cubic yard truck and 3 14 cubic yard. But I don't know which type
Yeah,
what type 1 is,
I
what
was going to say,
size.
do they match the types? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Where would that information be?
On the FEMA website, if you go there, if you do a Google for types and kind, FEMA type and kinding,
Yeah.
and they'll bring up the actual resource manual, and you can actually see the page. It'll tell you. In fact, all of the equipment that you have that's listed, it'll tell you.
You only got one of the snow
So,
plow? Is that what
yeah.
is that what that says?
Yeah, that's what's there now.
Yeah.
It'll tell you what sizes and
I know like
requirements.
FEMA has a cost code. There'd be like a certain code for a certain truck and a rate
yeah.
that we use to do a lot of the
Yeah.
documentation.
Yeah,
for-
so if you went to that, any one of the resources that's on here, it'll actually tell you exactly what, engine, size of the vehicle,
Yeah.
what the requirement is for people on board.
Usually there's a code like an 8932 would be a 14 cubic yard dump truck, but
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing like a type. these
Yeah, if you go
types.
to this guide, it's all by type. It's
Okay.
basically, it's like
Alright.
all of it, it's in table format, and it'll actually list all 5 types, and it'll tell you exactly what, generators, it'll tell you
Yep.
trucks, it'll tell you, in fact, in some cases, human beings, what the typing is for that particular resource. Same thing on the fire side. Because the example that I use, if you request a tanker and you live where we are, if you just throw out the word tanker, what are you going to get? And when you put it in perspective for folks that, you might get something that resembles a tanker from a fire department. And even then, you've got, even still to this day, you've got the whole spectrum, as you look across our state. You might get certain times of the year a manure tanker, you might get a milk
right.
tanker,
Right.
you might get, and then folks that are familiar with air firefighting, if you call a tanker, we're going to have one
Yeah.
big aircraft making it rain.
Right.
So that's what the typing kinding is.
So on this part right here, that's something that Joey would probably have to do a little bit of research on?
Just some of it. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
the stuff that he has responsibility for. Yeah, the more that gets split up, the more information we can put in there. This is one of those projects where somebody comes and says, geez, I need to do an intern project, and somebody else is paying for it, in all honesty, and you hand them the interning project and say, here,
Go figure
make
that out.
contact with Joey, make contact with Mark or whoever, make contact.
Yeah, if the numbers are right, I think probably got it right. If it's 3
Yeah.
and 1, but it's 3 and 2, so
Yeah, see, and,
something's
and
not
this
right.
was probably pulled from. I think if we look back, this has been the same numbers for quite a while because we haven't done it. It came from that report that was generated before, and we haven't done anything with it. And it's primarily.
And if it
a
includes the
timing thing.
villages inventory
Right.
as well, well, then it's
Oh,
still,
right,
not,
right.
still not right.
Yeah.
'cause
Right,
of the
yeah.
numbers.
yeah, because it would include the
They would,
village.
wouldn't
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'd be 3, and then as far as the ton trucks, it'd be 2, and then they have like a 7 yard.
So you may have to get together with Ken.
Yeah, because they got
Yeah.
like just on that one line, there's 6 trucks there, and then truck plow, there's 7
If that was
trucks.
a tandem, that would be the 3. 2. If it's a type 1, it could be the ton trucks. I don't know what the 1 plow truck would be. Of course, they have pickups there too, so. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, because the thing is like even what the heck is it there?
Would the water and light stuff be included in there too? So there's a lot of trucks.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. This is just kind of the tip of the iceberg of the actual resources that can be counted, which I think is why it hasn't gone any
I mean, 'cause
further
it-
than
yeah.
this, and is also not.
I mean, in a sense,
At
they have
this
a road to
particular
it.
juncture does not prevent it from being signed off and made a matter of record. So, not that day won't come.
See all this stuff down here, the one in Lightwood down the area.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's nothing there.
No.
Matt's, if the note is on there that you want him to look at bridges, I'm sure that Sean will take a look at doing a map of bridges and he's usually pretty good about adding anything that we want, I mean, within reason that we want to add to the document.
Yep.
And then from there, he'll kind of footnote as to when the mapping was done.
Yes, well, normally at least the ones that he generates right from down there he does.
I mean, you'd hope. Cause,
Yeah.
Because the biggest thing is that, things. Because in a sense, I don't see,
Yeah, because even though I think, I can't read it, but I think if you see where the Northwest Planning is, the box, I think there's a date in the bottom of that. I think it's usually there in the bottom.
Yeah, it says April
April something on that one.
Yeah, and this-
2014, I think.
Yeah, and this one looks like January 2014. So.
Yeah. Yep, January 2014.
Yep.
But we've already,
Yeah.
added some new ones.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else that pops out or comes to mind?
No. No, get those in, and then if he gets it back to us,
Should be able
take a look at it again, and
Okay.
just make sure that we got all the changes that occurred to us.
Now the thing is that are we in violation if because like this came to us a couple of months ago? If we kind of accept it, can we amend it as we go?
Can we? Yeah, it can always be amended.
All right.
So you're saying accept it tonight as it changes?
No, I was just asking. Remember, because didn't this come up to us in
This should be an annual thing.
May?
Yeah, well, but I think if we check, and this was totally without checking, we have one that is on file. This would replace that
Right,
copy
right.
that's
So
on
it's not
file.
like you're going without one.
Right.
Yeah.
There should be one there.
I mean,
and,
Right.
Right, but
yeah, I haven't checked the site lately because on the Vermont Emergency Management site, we can actually check to make sure it's listed. So this should be for the next cycle, and it can be updated anytime. The more current we keep it, the better.
right.
But at least annually, we're supposed to make sure that it's in there and kept up. And they're pretty good about from Vermont Emergency Management, making sure that we stay on top of it. And now there's actually somebody that works for Vermont Emergency Management that actually is, the regional person for this area as well. So I'm sure that'll even pick up even more now.
Okay.
It's not one person responsible for the whole state.
Good.
Great. Thank you so much.
I think that helped a lot, and move it on to Sean, and hopefully he can get it back to us.
Yeah. Yeah, and Sean knows how to get hold of me too if he has other questions as well.
Okay.
He knows where to even find me during the day.
Wait, you said you're working for the state now. Which department are you in?
The Department of Health.
Oh, okay.
I'm the new Strategic National Stockpile and Medical Countermeasures Coordinator.
You put that on the business card?
Quite a title.
I can't wait till they come to see exactly. It'll probably they'll put Strategic National Stockpile Coordinator.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I went to the state orientation today, and some of these folks had waited a while for their orientation. So I think I had the award for being there the shortest. I mean, I'm on day 5.
Right.
And next week I fly to the CDC.
Oh, neat.
So yeah, I should be able to claim the least amount of experience when I go there.
Neat.
So, for future references there, if the health officer position ever comes up, would that be something you'd ever consider?
I never say no directly, but I'd have to think. I've got so much going on. Like tonight, before I came in here, I was on a conference call just before I walked in here, sitting out in the yard, and I'm actually now half hour late for another commitment that I made that I've been working on for the last few months. And
But we could probably lean on you for a reference for somebody else in the
You probably
community. that
could do
fit
that. Yeah. Yeah.
We have one now, but
Yeah.
his time might be coming up. So,
Yeah. That's right.
'cause those are tough positions to fill.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So,
All right.
alrighty.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
Have a good night.
See ya. Sorry about last week.
Ah, that's fine.
I had it on the calendar. It was
Happens to
there,
us all.
and I'm over there, and then it's like, oh, crap. He doesn't usually call me things. Oh yeah.
What did his sister say?
See you later, Dave.
Thanks, Deb.
So Joey, are you gonna check with somebody about all the trucks they have and then tell me so we can make changes if needed and then send it in, or?
Yeah, I kind of was wondering if each department head would
Can
call
just-
Sean and give him and tell him what we got,
Right.
and then he could probably look that up as far as it's a type 1, 2, 3.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just here's an inventory.
Myself,
Put it in
Ken
the right place.
LaPlante, the Dave Wescombe. I don't know. It seemed like the fire department stuff was pretty much in line.
Pretty much, yeah.
It might be a good idea for Mark to look it over, and I didn't really know. I didn't look at it in detail, but
We can go over tomorrow night with it.
yeah. And was there ambulances on there too? Must be.
Oh,
They should know about it.
Should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you it's not.
Didn't say anything about it.
No,
I mean, it's
probably-
I didn't
a,
see nothing.
So,
if it's
and-
listed, what vehicle would it be listed under? And yeah, definitely a resource.
right.
Safety.
Definitely a lot of fire. Big 2 pumpers.
I was gonna say, I don't even think that was on there.
No, I didn't see nothing about answers.
Where it should be added.
Well, I'm sure they have a. I know when it comes to like what they call their cost code, there's every piece of equipment that you could think of. Anything from cots to
Yeah.
bandages
Yeah.
to they have everything. Every cost code for everything.
Right.
And then when it gets into equipment, it's generators, it's everything. So I'm sure it's in there. Just the type, 'cause I don't know what the type would be. You'd have to look at it. But like I said, if each department head called, if Sean knew what we're doing,
You can categorize
say,
it.
well, we think some of this stuff might not be up to date there, we could tell him, I could tell him what we have. Every department head tell him what we have, and he could probably figure out which the types are. I would.
Good idea.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we have you on the agenda.
Yeah, I just have a driveway permit. Yeah. I haven't
There
even
you go.
signed yet, or I've seen the site where they want to do it, and I still need to figure out some details. But if you guys feel comfortable signing it, then I can take care of the technical work afterwards, because he's kind of anxious to get going. He brought this in quite a while ago, I guess, and I've had it for quite a little while. He's been away, so.
Where is it?
Pierre Boudreau on Pearly Road.
Oh yeah, you talked about that.
It's agricultural access there. He's gonna, like everybody, got some trees. He's gonna have somebody set some pipeline up. So, yeah, I know the site where it is, and just got to figure out what he needs for culvert, what he needs to do there.
The agricultural path, you said?
Yeah,
Access?
yeah. I saw him today. Actually, he was on the mail truck here. This week isn't probably
on
good
Pearly
for either
Road?
one of us. Yep.
Where Bill's here.
Uh,
Meadow Lane down there. There's River Road. I think it's all River Road.
Yep, just below Raven Ridge and before River Road, in between the two on the right.
No.
His
On the
driveway's
same side as Raven Ridge? On the opposite side.
If you're going
Same
towards-
side.
towards Berkshire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pierre's driveway is 2 below Raven Ridge.
Okay.
There's Robitelli's, and then there's Pierre Boudreau's, and it's below that. It's down on the flat area, just almost to the river road.
Oh yeah, okay.
We got a 3-foot cross culvert there, and it's just after the cross culvert. He was questioning whether he needed a culvert, and I said, I probably need something, but then he said he's just gonna go through there with his tractor once in a while, so. I don't know, maybe we can do something else short of a culvert, but we need to leave a in case that culvert freezes or gets plugged up, it has to have a place to go. I've seen it happen.
That's a
before.
pretty good spot. Yeah, downhill
A lot of
grade
water
there.
there. A lot of water. So, like I said, if you guys feel comfortable signing the second page, not the third, but
Right.
I can take care of the technical stuff with him. He's agreeable to do whatever he's got to do. So I don't know who wants it first.
Larry wants it.
You want a motion on it?
I move to accept the driveway permits
Oops, I guess he doesn't have his information filled out on that page.
For Pierre Boudreau.
for Pierre Boudreau.
I second it.
Motion been made, seconded to accept the right-of-way permit for Pierre Boudreau.
Or it's a driveway permit.
Driveway permit, yeah, sorry. Any more discussion? Having none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
All right,
Aye.
Those opposed say nay.
Is that Joey's spot?
Maybe the first spot is, yeah. I should
Oops,
have.
sorry about that.
Unless you want to be road foreman. We'd probably make that happen. Joey, some days
Yeah, well, yeah.
you can have it.
Yeah. A lot of days. Today was one.
Really?
Didn't rain enough for you,
well,
Joe,
with the rain.
Jeez.
to drive for
Trying to do something, downpour, wash out what you're doing.
Gosh.
Well, BJ, you probably haven't seen your husband yet. I heard he was a John Rot.
Yeah,
Did he get caught in the
couple
rain?
you. It
times.
was wet when I talked to him.
I felt really bad. I
Couple
think it
times.
was one of your tractors actually pulled over right after the dairy center. You know, there's that pull off
Today?
today.
It's probably Gary.
He was
Well,
in
no,
the
it was a
Berkshire.
young kid. It was a tractor.
Oh.
Well, anyway, he was pulled off because it was torrential, right? There's this guy in front of us on a motorcycle, and he puts on his blinker because he wants to get off the road, right? But he dumps the bike right there in the
Today?
road today, and cars. And
That
so
just happened last week too.
We're-
Right in
so-
that same area.
whoever was in the tractor, young guy, came running out like he was saving the world. Like he came out and helped that guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And I saw, yeah, it was a big international pullover right there on that pull off.
No, it wasn't us.
I don't know who it was, maybe it was Shawkettes or something, I don't know.
Shawcats or I don't think Honus's guys would be up that way.
Yeah, it was like I said, that right, if you're coming from Enosburgh towards Berkshire, it's after the dairy center, there's that pull off.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
Wow.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Alright.
All right, and then like I said, you guys hadn't heard
Just gotta
that
make
culvert there. They were working on it today. It's almost done over there by Phil Rob Toys.
Nice.
Yeah,
It looks
it
good,
is.
too.
And
Does it?
Oh, yeah.
there was some water going through there today that I don't know if the other culvert would have held it back.
No, he probably would have had water over his driveway today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was impressed with the time.
So you got a lot of rain here then, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it
two
dumped.
times. Two
Boy,
times.
it dumped.
Yeah. A little bit more. The first one didn't hit so much right around here because I was at Farm 2. They got pounded at Bakersfield and Richford
It
real
only
bad.
rained once
Yeah,
here in the
Jim.
village real hard.
You had a chance
Yeah.
to,
And that was the summer.
Mm-hmm.
you had a chance to take a look at
It
that stone
rained
yet?
while we were
No,
coming
I
out.
haven't. Did you ever see that stone?
Oh, yeah.
What? 11. Ish
Yeah,
by the
I had-
dairy center.
I had some pictures of it here,
Torrential.
the other day. I had some
And then
pictures of it.
on the way
I
home,
measured it.
I got caught in the
Yeah,
grocery
it's like
store.
a-
And you're like, I'm not walking out
Like a
now.
I think it's 12 feet long,
Wow. That's a big
4
one.
feet wide, I'm gonna say. And like 4 feet high or something like that. Looks like stone.
Mm-hmm. Sounds bigger than our excavator probably would handle.
Yeah, I don't know how, Leach is supposed to load it into a truck and then they went to dump it off and I guess the front end of the truck come off.
So I heard
Oh
too.
my gosh.
I heard that too.
Yeah.
So do you decide where it's gonna go yet? For
I
sure.
think that's one thing with it.
Maybe we can bring that up on the 14th.
Talk about it, the 14th.
The
We're having a
village.
joint meeting here.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So it'd be something we could bring up and talk about.
Yep.
Because she's talked to both the village and the town here, you know.
I know it was mentioned one of those stone squares there by the front of the building, but I ain't so sure it fit there then.
No, I think that'd be too big right there, I think.
I'd say we'll need up some space there, that's for sure.
In front of which building?
The
Public safety
service
building.
station.
Oh, gotcha.
There's those two stone
Yep.
rectangular shape on both sides of the
Yeah,
walkway.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But we'll
That
have
was
to talk-
mentioned, but-
We'll have to talk with the village and
See
see what
what
they got
happens.
right here.
Yeah.
We'll have to go from there.
Yep,
It is a pretty unique stone.
it is,
Yeah.
color, got some colors in it?
It's got, where the, it's got, where it all molded together at one time, but it's got lines all the way through that, it's pretty unique.
Neat.
I took some pictures of it, I don't myself own the car, so I don't know. But,
Yep.
yeah, I went up and measured it and I took some pictures of it.
Cool.
Yep.
Oh,
Okay.
bye, Joey.
Yep, I just gotta make some copies.
I forgot to call about that.
Red Jenna.
You can slap my hand. I forgot to call to see if you have to be a resident to be on. Remember that was the question, do you have to be a resident?
I emailed her,
Oh, you did? Thank you. And?
and she said it doesn't matter.
It doesn't,
I
okay.
just wanna make sure that there's somebody on this team,
Okay.
and
Thank you.
she sent the nomination.
I totally spaced it. That's why I was like, oh, sugar, when I saw it on the agenda. I was like, I
Did you
didn't
do
do
the
that.
teacher thing though with Mr. Lynn?
I did do that. I did do that. And she responded and said thank you for
We
that.
might as well jump right to it and see who's bringing it up. This is the appointment paper for Jennifer Bright for solid waste district.
So,
There's
So I guess it's
a
not-
attached email
it's not
that
an issue
basically
then, huh?
spells out that they do not have to be living in the town to be appointed to this board. They're active in the community.
okay.
It is possible to appoint any person the town sees as acceptable representation for the town. Well, that's from Northwest Solid District.
That's-
It works.
So,
was that- I didn't think you were- I'm sure I understand, I just didn't-
No, thank you.
Were you or Joey was going to do Collin Regional Planning to see if they could be the point?
Oh,
on that?
it was in the minutes, wasn't it? I thought Joey was. It says the minutes. It says, the board read the letter. Joey thinks, no wait, where is it? The board asked Joey to contact regional planning to see if it could be them.
Yep, I haven't done that yet.
Okay, no problem.
We'll get a hold of Bethany.
As long as it wasn't me.
Well, tonight, but she's already know what they
Yeah, no, fine.
talked to Amy, but she probably could have. But I figure Bethany's probably going to go on anyway. She did the applications.
Right.
okay, so what we've heard about Jennifer Bright, we probably should have a motion for her acceptance.
I'll move.
Second.
Motion been made, seconded to accept Jennifer Bright from Northwest Solid Waste District. Any more discussion? And if having none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. So we put today as appointment day, right?
Yep.
I can remember today is my sister's birthday.
7/17.
Yep.
Nice. Which sister?
And
Oh, nice. Billy Joe, are you gonna notify her or do you want me? Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Alright, we wanna go back to that solar project. We wanna tackle a couple of the other things quick.
Okay,
We probably might go back to that solar project
let's
and
get that out of our hair.
see if we can't get that all taken care of, and if we have to make the call, we make the call sooner than later. You want to have a rough idea what our monthly bill is for
Well, I think
electric?
they had it all clocked out there. I think they did spreadsheets.
Probably in here somewhere.
Good night.
See ya, Joey.
Joey.
Just out of curiosity, are we an individual party to this contract, or is the school, the village, and the town a party?
No, there's 3 parties.
Isn't it weird that they're treating us all
So
separately?
this is the average, annual average.
Well, we own separate
They've kind of got it off
buildings.
kilter, but this
It'd be
is
like
kind of
individual
This is the
homeowners.
streetlights.
And aren't they allotting
Fire and
different
ambulance is
amounts to
one.
different?
So they have it broken.
Different places,
Right.
So there's
yeah.
not-
Like we don't own the village buildings, the
There's a
village owns the village
savings.
buildings.
Right,
equals-
but
So you'd have to be separate.
I'm just trying to figure out.
see if you take, confidentiality,
Yeah.
customers agree to the disclosure of
We're
the terms
paying
of the agreement,
somebody
or the
eleven-
cause incurred
paying
on
them
this.
That was,
1,100.
yeah, I didn't
To a
notice
third
that.
party.
Because I had
So
looked
it's
at
like-
this and I looked.
Oh, a third party is somebody who is not, so
His
it,
number in
when they talk about
front.
third parties in that term, it's
If you want.
you
Right.
and the contract holder, the third party would be somebody else.
So this is a.
So you can't
1
disclose
month
the third
bill,
parties.
or-
No,
the
it
village
says
or for the
annual.
school.
Right, they can't
Annual
disclose our
average
like
holder.
business dealings without our permission.
So you would have to add all these together.
It's the
to
same
get
thing like with my insurance. I have to just, if my husband calls up
12,
my
4, 5.
insurance holder, the school, and says, "Hey, Polly's thinking get paid." They can't even speak to him without my permission because he's considered a third party. Because I'm the contract holder, and the school is he's the third party. So I have to provide written permission in my folder that says Dan Rico has permission to call and ask. I looked up what that forced majeure event is.
18.
And it's basically the event which is no cost to them. So like a strike,
We had that once before here.
Mm-hmm.
The paving project. We had paving set in and a locked amount in the contract.
yeah, and then
And they
went
came
on
in and
strike.
said that they pulled that force majeure on
Yeah.
us and said, sorry, you don't have to do it for that price.
Oh, really? Because
Yes.
they defined it here that it was. Is that they defined it as an act of weather,
Mm-hmm. Act of God.
and
Right.
then they also defined it here as right here. Force majeure events, I guess the may include, subject to the foregoing conditions, strikes or labor disputes, other than strikes or labor disputes solely by employees of the party declaring the force majeure. So I guess if you had let's say the light department, if they went on strike, or it says adverse weather conditions and other acts
It
of
wasn't
nature.
total with us. It was
Earthquakes,
the
war.
petroleum price of petroleum.
The price of petrol, yeah.
And we were locked in
Oh.
a really low price and we're losing.
Oh, so it must be some act that's not their own causing. That's what it must
Which,
mean.
yes,
Some
yes.
act other that's not their own causing.
Correct. Yes.
So it says other than that, if you lose power for 130 days consecutively. Yeah.
So what I'm thinking is, I'll ask him this anyways. I don't think we're going to be paying water and light. I think we're going to be paying them. And if there's a balance, I think they pay the water and light. I don't know if are we going to have two bills?
I get
Because it looks like
He was never very clear to me.
85% of it is going to come through the solar. Then they'll get a credit from that. But bill goes through them. I don't know. That's one of the questions I
I
want.
think we were supposed to stay with the bill. Credit.
They also try me on my cell phone, which is 802-310-4897. Thank you.
I noticed.
Record your message at the
That's
tone.
the name
When
that's
you're
on
finished recording,
here.
press pound. To cancel, press star.
He's the authorized agent.
Right, this might be Will's. I have a number of somewhere.
I think I remember that name from somewhere. There's a group they formed.
The Green Lantern.
That's something.
Yeah.
Howdy.
Hello, is this Will?
Deacon.
Yes, this is Larry Jarvis, Enosburgh Selectboard.
Yes, how you doing, Larry?
That's bad. I have you on speakerphone there. We just had a few more questions there. Our lawyer did look at that a little bit there. And, well, one of the questions just refresh our memory on this, is the way the bill is going to be getting paid. Basically, is all the water and light bill going to end up going through you guys and then going back, or how is that going to work? Is it going to be two separate bills?
Oh, so all the billing will be coming from Lori at the office. Nothing will be reflected as far as the credits for the water bill. It will only be for the electricity and the light bill. And then it'll be on a monthly basis.
Okay. So it's looking like there's that paper that you left me there, accrued the years and the savings that we're going to have there.
Yep.
And there's like a $1,100 monthly solar service agreement payment. Is that going to be the average of the electric bill gets paid through you guys and the rest goes to the Enosburgh Water and Light? Or how's that work?
So if in January your bill, basically that just averages it out for the models purposes, but on a monthly basis, you're going to be paying, we're offsetting 85% of your load. So a small portion will be going back to Enosburgh Electric.
Okay.
A portion will be going to us, and you'll be keeping the net meter credits to offset your overall bill.
Okay. Yeah, so basically over 80-85% of the bill will be going through you guys.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. One of the questions our lawyer brought up was on sections 10B, 12A, and 12B. They definitely basically talking about the town cannot sign another contract during the term language. And he's got, it allows you up to supply electricity for up to 300 days before, I guess we would have to look somewhere else. I don't know if that's how you're reading that language or understanding it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have the agreement in front of me, but if you can give me any more details, I have to be able to better explain. And I'm not understanding what part of the contract, under what heading.
It's exclusivity and default. Hang on a second. We'll get to
It's under section 12, events of default. And it basically says that if you are unable to provide any output during the continuous 120-day period or for 180 days during any 12-month period, right? And then it goes in to talk about when you're in default.
Yeah.
But let's just say...
all defining default.
Correct. So what happens if we're unable to sign a contract with anybody for the terms of this contract, but we are in a position where we're not receiving power for up to 120 days or 180 days from you folks?
I don't understand the question. If the project's not providing and we can't cure the default, then
Okay.
under the terms of the contract, you can be released from the contract. So if you can better describe the situation, that what do you mean by signing another contract with someone? That part I don't understand.
Well, so let's see. Exclusivity and default. The town cannot sign another contract during the term. That's what he said. So that would be section 10.
You can't go and sign another net meter contract with anybody else, because we still have an agreement with you until we've actually been in complete default and the agreement no longer exists.
Correct. So I'm asking, like, what happens in that 120 days before you're able to, or before we're able to say there's a default that happens, what happens in that 120 days if we're unable to sign a different contract, just hypothetically?
I don't understand what you mean. What happens if you're unable to sign?
So when do we get all of our power from Enosburgh Light? Where does?
Oh yeah, you're not receiving any electricity from us.
Yes, exactly, for the 120 days.
So the way that the contract's written, you only are going to get the net meter credits that we provide to you.
Oh, okay.
On a monthly basis.
So if you're unable to provide those net metering credits, then we just
don't pay for them.
We don't pay for them, but we would just allocate our power from another source.
Water and light.
Water and
We're
light.
not providing your power will always come from Enosburgh Electric. That'll never change.
Okay. Okay, so it's only if we were to like sign a contract with another net metering company.
Correct.
Okay.
I'm speaking towards the ability to get out of the agreement with us and go with another service provider for net metering credits.
Okay.
That has absolutely nothing to do with your electrical provider.
Okay. I gotcha.
And the term is for 20 years?
And the contract term is 20 years, correct?
That's the initial term.
Okay. Yeah.
Another little thing that the lawyer had, he was saying Enosburgh, the system operator, Enosburgh Leach Estate Solar, appears to be a Vermont LLC, not a Delaware, and he says that should be corrected on the first page.
That is correct. That's a typo. It should be Vermont.
Okay.
Okay. So
Sorry about that.
we could just cross out Delaware and put an initial on it or something.
Yeah. Yep, that'll work.
Okay. So, if something major happens to this system, you guys know, just hypothetically, it might take 18 months to get it going again or something. And that at that point you'll know way ahead of time, and we'll be able to work something out. Must be to.
Yeah, absolutely. If for any unforeseen reason, there's like what I think they say is a force majeure.
Yep.
Yeah.
In the contract language.
Yeah.
We'll know so far ahead of time that we'll be able to work with you, the village, and the town, along with the school, to make sure that we can come up with a solution that works. And if we can't, the project will unfortunately cease to exist. But we're highly motivated to make it work no matter what. And that's the incentive on our side, is to continue to produce net meter credits because they're extremely valuable for everyone.
Right.
The system's also monitored in real time, so for any small discrepancy in output, we're going to know immediately in real time, and those issues are going to be fixed. It's a pretty strict process in making sure that it performs as we have modeled it and how our other facilities perform, because of the incentives behind making sure it continues to perform. But directly to answer your question, yes, if something major and it looked like it was going to be a long process, my understanding would be we would enter into an agreement alongside a current agreement to fix the problem, and that's called a cure. So if we all agree to the cure, then that would be the agreed upon method to fix whatever major is broken.
Okay.
Are we the biggest project that they got?
No, it's cool.
I don't know.
There was another board member that asked a question earlier in the discussion before we called. Your project's going to cap out Enosburgh's demand for renewable energy.
No, project solar or methane for net metering. So there's no longer a state mandated cap. Anybody who has a project, whether it's residential or commercial, can file the paperwork and sign up and receive capacity as long as it can safely interconnect with the utilities infrastructure.
Well, I was under the impression that the village as a utility only had to buy renewable energy credits up to a percentage of what they put through their system.
The cap was in place last year, and the rules did away with the cap this year.
Really?
There's a whole new set of rules for net metering that are in place as of July 1st, 2017. That's the last update. And they did away with the capacity cap. So as many projects as, you know, anyone can present the project.
Right.
The limiting factors are going to be connecting with the utility. So I would, you know, with my knowledge, my pretty good knowledge of your system, not going to see very many big projects because the cost of upgrading the substations is going to be a limiting factor.
Right.
But for small residential stuff and other smaller projects, you know, there's no limit as to how many of those can be done by, you know, the general public or other developers.
That's good to know because I hadn't heard this new update. I knew it must have been pretty new because
Yeah, it is new, and the newest set of rules, there was draft rules that were the governing new rules January 1st of this year, and then July 1st they came out with an update, which basically ratified the draft rules. There's a whole bunch of details, but on the cap side particular, there is no more cap of utilities load.
okay. Anybody got any more questions?
Nope.
I haven't.
Nope.
Okay, yeah, I think you've answered the questions that we've had here. We'll get into a little more discussion here after we get off the phone with you, and hopefully after tonight we'll have something in place for you.
Alright, perfect. And if you have any more questions, call me or shoot me an email. No problem, we'll get them answered for you.
Okay.
Alright, well, we're excited to be doing business with you. Thanks for the call. Have a good night.
You too.
You too.
Thanks.
Thanks, Will.
Yep, bye.
Bye.
That's crazy. There's no more caps. Get ready. Get ready.
You feel bad for a small utility like this. They could be physically put out of production if there was some big. I know what he's talking about. The lines aren't big enough to handle it and
It
stuff.
would take a huge project to redo all that.
But also because they had to
But-
buy in to this one just to recoup some of their $100,000 loss that they were going to incur. If they have another loss that comes along, they can't recoup on that.
But you're seeing a lot of big projects going in. You got one over there on the on the North Road there in Fairfield, and
There's another one on the Bushy Road.
on
Or
yeah,
Woods Road.
on the Woods Hill Road is
Yeah.
going up right now. Another big one,
Yep.
and oh yeah.
I think
Who's
must.
the one doing it in Fairfield? Do you know?
Well, it's on what you call his farm there.
Brandon's.
No, Brandon's. It's at farm right there on the corner of the Pond Road and North Road.
No, Brandon. Not a.
No, he's not a Brandon.
Not a Brandon.
No, he's just, you know, he's got a small operation there, you know.
Not right on the corner of the Fairfield Center.
No, it's right on the corner of the Pond Road and North Road.
Jenny's.
Pond Road and North Road.
Yeah.
Are we over on Route 36?
No.
No.
The North Road is from Fairfield Center to Sheldon Creek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Pond Road is off map.
It's off that, exactly. I know where you're talking. I know where you're talking.
So.
Excavator Spalding?
No, it's not. No,
No?
it's I can't think of the fellow's name.
Anyways,
So. Yep.
so we can strike the Delaware off.
Initial it.
Is this gonna be the copy or?
Yeah, that's good.
Now, was there another spot where that was,
Where Delaware was?
yeah, I thought they were,
Oh, it's just in Vaughn's notes here.
I can't understand the way they're billing now because it's a credit thing.
It's the
And
credit.
if it's not there, you're
It
still
just
gonna keep
keeps
getting your
drawing,
power.
Right, you keep drawing up.
It's the way they're gonna offset it is the bill's gonna go that way then that way. And if they don't have the credits, they're just gonna hand it right back to the village.
Alright. The whole power thing confuses me beyond. I'll get out. You should see me when I'm looking at the smelling candles at like 2 midnight.
So tomorrow's?
Yeah, I leave Wednesday. Leave Wednesday. Yep.
I don't think it's anywhere else.
Does anybody have any ideas they want on the agenda for, besides, Rob
Toy Rock. We also need to talk about.
Probably should just bring it up if it isn't completed. What we just went over with Leops with Tim Stetson, if they haven't done their adjustments and if they want to send an inventory of their trucks and stuff into Sean to have that corrected.
And what was the original time we wanted a meeting was for this, but then this was already decided on. I remember we had talked when it was first coming around, so I guess that's not an issue.
I would like to make a suggestion that we make a meeting date once or twice a year.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea.
I mean, I don't know what it could be, because the dates are
Yeah.
the days.
No, exactly, like the third in August or whatever, every year or whatever. I wonder if you could
Wow.
even do it twice a year.
should be done even more than that.
Well, we can start out twice a
Personally.
year. We can start out twice a year and we can always increase it. See how it goes.
Alright, so we should continue on this
Okay.
solar agreement. And
So, what do you need? What? What do we need?
we had Vaughn's questions kind of all pretty much answered. Terminations, I don't think it's going to be a huge issue. I think it might take some time, but I think the billing system may end up lagging behind or something by the time it gets through these other parties to go about it.
Maybe that's something that we could bring up at the joint meeting. That due to the signing of this contract, right here. Is that a trustee issue or not? That upon signing these, we know we're gonna need timely, are we in agreement that that's something we can get, or? I mean, I don't know, that's a weird question, now that I say it out loud.
But no, but I think that's what I was bringing up before, and that is that with that the three of us are doing this separately, which is really weird.
Because it's systems.
But we're different owners of buildings.
I know, but
Yeah.
still, it's,
Right. I mean, it's not like you and I, as neighbors with separate houses, can go into an agreement on purchasing power for our house.
And each of us are getting different proportions of electricity.
Right. Exactly. Mhm.
I think we're ready to move
I
forward.
understand what you're saying. Oh, what did you need?
I'm ready to move forward.
If we're gonna do this or not, we should move forward.
Yeah. I mean, we basically said that we were going through with it upon proofing, when we, in our last minutes, it says we're going through with it upon proofing of our attorney. Our attorney has given us questions to ask. We asked them, do we feel okay with the answers? Yeah?
Sure.
I think we got the answers we needed tonight from Will.
And we had said in the beginning that we were going to follow the village's lead, and they have entered an agreement. The school has entered an agreement. Our questions have been answered.
So in lieu of the last week's, we basically passed it. I already had the motions from last week, so
Right.
should be good to go.
Okay.
well, with the corrections.
With the corrections.
With the corrections,
So we can do them.
and also, should there be two of these? One for us, one for them. Are we gonna get a copy?
Yeah, you can do two. You can take Larry Fisk's copy.
So do we need a motion of approval of contract with corrections? Yeah, with corrections. I move to approve contract with corrections.
I second it.
A motion been made and seconded to approve the contract for Enosburgh Beach State Solar with the corrections
Boy, look at else. There's a light over there in Enosburgh.
from
And that's on the board.
the lawyer's suggestions. Any more discussion?
Or did we have a second?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you did, okay, yeah.
Any more discussion? If having none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Alright,
All those opposed, say nay.
Larry, if you use this copy here, don't forget to cross this Delaware off and make sure that's the same.
Now, even though this William Vivy is the attorney, who's our contact people.
No, it's
He's not an
attention.
attorney.
He's
Oh,
attention.
that's,
There's attention.
Yeah.
He's so I need
He's a
to,
developer.
I signed by then write my name and the other one. We gotta change this on the top.
Well,
Gotta strike the June and put July.
Tell me after.
okay. That was. Oh look, the kids are waving at us.
Okay.
Alright.
Polly Rico,
Me.
you're a little bit behind schedule.
I've been waiting all this time.
But we knew you weren't gonna leave us, so. Review of the policy for vacation.
So, I just made this, I basically took from the personnel policy the vacation leave and the payment of. And then I called Vaughn, because remember originally we had, if on administrative leave will not be paid for unused vacation. He said he would not advise that, because if you remember, when you put somebody on administrative leave, you have yet to, what's the word? You have yet to reprimand them. Administrative leave is just during the time when you're trying to gather evidence. So by saying that you can't take the paid leave like everybody else, it is almost like a consequence. It's, right? It's almost like a, what's the word? What is it? Yeah?
Disciplinary action.
Disciplinary action. It would look like it's a disciplinary action. But if you're on administrative leave, technically you haven't had any disciplinary actions. So, if you remember that we had said that if you're going to get paid out for vacation leave, it would not exceed 1 week. So basically, we'd only be out a week. We wouldn't be out all of their vacation leave. So you can see full-time employees will accrue vacation leave pay at the employee's regular rate of pay. That's the same as before. Employees are strongly encouraged to utilize all available annual vacation. If an employee does not use all of vacation leave in a year, the employee will be paid out for the unused vacation hours not to exceed 1 week of paid leave. Vacation hours do not carry over at the end of the year. So it was just that change of that they will be paid out but not to exceed the 1 week of paid leave.
So then, like for Joey's case and stuff, he wouldn't have to submit all the time.
I mean, I don't know.
But this would also encourage them to use their vacation time if they get excessive vacation.
Right. Now, I don't know if you want to put in something like, let's say something happens, right, that he's unable to take all 4 weeks. Do we want to put something in there that if it exceeds the 1 week, they have to put it in writing and approved, or do we just leave it at the 1 week and hope you're okay? I mean, have we ever run into anything where I'm just thinking, like, we are talking natural disasters and everything. I was like, would there ever be a situation where they wouldn't be able to take their vacation?
I think they should be able to take the 3.
The 3?
Yeah.
Right?
And you know, like you said, if something comes up, they can come.
Yeah, I mean, that
And
can
they
be
can
based on
come
our
before?
discretion. I mean, we can work with them.
If there's just
On the individual situation.
Individual situation.
Based on individual situation.
Yeah, I think you're
but
right.
It's got to be, I mean, they have to make an attempt
Right.
to take this
To
time
take
off.
the 3, and if they can't.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
so I'll move. Second.
motion has been made and seconded to accept the new vacation leave pay
Adoption.
description.
Policy?
Policy.
Or procedure, policy, I guess. Yeah.
Policy.
Oh, my email changed.
Any more discussion?
Change it?
Having none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
I
Those opposed, say nay. Okay.
no, you didn't. The X 46, my district merged. My email changed. I've had that email address forever.
And you didn't know it.
Now it's poly. Oh no, I'm gonna say what it is, but but it's changed.
Okay.
So I'll go in and make it in the big draft. I'll put it in there. And then resend it so that you can reprint new ones.
And I'll have them printed for next month.
Correct, and then I'll call Joey and see about going over there.
So we've already talked about meeting ideas or topics for the agenda.
Briefly, if you guys have anything, just send an email or call me this week.
Mm-hmm.
Sandy's gonna have something for Friday night.
Tax rates. 0.547 highway and 0.332 general.
It's almost what we predicted. 0.35, 0.556.
Oh. Down and down.
Because
A
our
little
brand
bit.
list went up.
Oh, okay.
So that should be good news.
Yeah. So we do need a motion.
Okay, so like I said, the new tax rate on the table is 0.547 for a highway and 0.332 for general. I'll entertain any motions.
Yeah, but I think you should have pending no changes with grievances stated. Just so that. I don't know if that would, how much that would change. But I'll move.
So a motion has been made to accept it pending no changes with the grievances. Do I have a second?
Second.
A second. Any more discussion? If having none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Alright.
Also, like one little thing, permission to put on the tax bills, please like us on Facebook at the Town of Enosburgh,
Oh,
so
yeah.
that we can use that more for social media, for things to alert people.
Yeah, and now it's public because I, like an idiot, opened one originally that was closed. So people had to like request to join Town of Enosburgh. So I redid one that's public. So all you have to do is like it and you can see our posts.
Oh,
But it also allows other people to post on it too.
Well, I just think it's one way, like if we had an emergency.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just more people going to see, so if I could put it at the top, like on the bottom of the tax bill.
Yeah, like that, like our page on Facebook.
Right.
Yeah.
make a motion. Put it on the bottom of the tax bill.
I'll move to put like our Facebook page. Silly, doesn't that seem silly?
It's gonna go a long way. So
Yeah.
seconded it. The motion been made and seconded to put on the bottom of our tax bills like our
Facebook page.
Facebook page.
Which I was going to put the August 2nd is the village bylaw public hearing, in case you all want to know.
Any more
August-
discussion?
Yeah, sorry.
If having none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed say nay. So is that again? You gonna say what?
Oh, August 2nd is the public hearing for the revision of the bylaws.
August 2nd.
Yeah,
Wednesday.
it's a Wednesday. I don't know.
What time?
Good question. 6:30? 7? I don't know. I gotta look. I'll post it on the Facebook page
Of the
That I don't look up.
DRB or
for the planning commission.
Planning commission
not
bylaws.
our meeting for it, but it and it won't even come to us ultimately. It'll go to the trustees. But
Oh, that's something that we probably should put on the agenda.
Oh,
Did you
yeah.
guys want to talk about a joint?
oh yeah, merged bylaws, the municipal planning grant. Yes, please. Please, please, please.
okay. We're gonna pick up the next item on the agenda, which is the Opera House bids for painting that we
Who's got the paper?
sent
You
to
do.
this week's. Yeah. So basically, we table this for a couple reasons. We want to make sure you're here, and this was the only bid that we had, and unfamiliar with what the cost should be. You being in that field, we thought we should wait till this week and get your advice too. Probably shouldn't put that over the microphone.
So, is that bid, you haven't seen it?
No.
My daughter just had theater camp last week. They did the little play. It was so cute. But just standing in front of that building, I'm like, you couldn't pay me that to do it. Can you imagine?
You could dump a lot of money into that building.
Oh,
Just keeps spinning.
painting that thing has gotta be horrendous.
So what are you gonna paint, two sides?
It's
That's
the two sides.
Contract is?
that's all it says.
West
Yeah.
sides of the Opera House. The south and west. What is that? What does that mean?
I'd say the front and towards the parking lot.
Is the front south? Help me.
Yeah, so it'd be the front entrance, that'd be
Say
the south.
front.
And towards the parking
And then
lot.
the-
And towards the parking lot.
Yeah.
Great.
That's where it gets the weather the most.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And you have to scrape that thing? You think that's reasonable?
I have no idea.
After painting my house, I'd pay somebody $2 million to do it.
I'm going with vinyl siding.
Ugh, no way.
I mean, the only thing that I would question at the end is the lead certification.
It's in.
I know it's in there.
Do they need lead certification? Because it's historic? I mean, they've done it before.
I know,
They've
but
dealt with the
that's-
lead paint before.
But those things have changed now, so it
I
makes
know,
it a
that's
little
what
more
I'm
challenging.
So do we find out first?
Well, they're not.
No, I know, but do we
Right.
find out if we need it? Like, does it have to be done by lead certified people? Does it? I'm asking the question.
Does it say these are lead certified?
They are not lead
They're not.
certified,
No.
but
And do they have insurance?
they do. Said they were they're insured. Does it say they have to? Wait, let's see.
Why is it nobody wants to paint this? Last year they didn't get any. Well, actually, first time this year we didn't get any bids either.
No, this is only because I think
Because
somebody
yeah, same
solicited.
building. Can you imagine?
No, but still, if you're a painter, you're gonna.
It
are
basically
you
just says.
so booked.
Because we're buying all the paints.
No,
No.
I think we're done. In the RFP, I don't think it says, I think they are responsible for paint. Fine.
Well, I mean,
It's,
find it back in there.
it says.
Who's buying what?
The scope of work. A preparation of exterior side trimming, spot, and 2 finish coat of flat exterior. The paints will be determined by the paint colors, but the purchases of all materials are responsible of the contractor. And then it does say that they have to use lead practices. It says if lead paint is present, which it is, probably, then proper abatement shall be done in compliance with all state and federal mandates. All contractors will have the opportunity to test existing paint prior to the closure of the bidding process, which means that they can go in, test it, and if they don't want to do it, then they don't have to, I guess.
I mean, don't want to do the best practices?
Who
Or the
tests it?
project. It says the contractor will have the opportunity to test the existing paint. Because, like, what if you put in a bid, but then they're like, whoa, wait, it's full of lead, it's going to cost us this many more dollars. Then right? The contractor will be responsible for the protection of all items and surfaces. So it doesn't say they have to be lead certified, does it?
And what you just read,
Right there, it just says they
Right
would
ahead.
use in compliance.
in compliance with all state and
Federal
federal
mandates.
and you have to be certified. It's mandated.
No, who mandates? For what?
State of Vermont.
No, it says if lead-based paint is present, then proper abatement. The abatement is the state and federal mandates.
Which does require them to.
Does it require them to be certified?
Mm-hmm.
That's certified. So there's not an abatement mandate? That's what I'm wondering,
The
like,
abatement is to take care of the lead.
Right.
Which, if they're not certified, they don't know how the proper disposal.
oh,
Yeah.
I see what you're
And then it
saying.
could cause us big
Gotcha.
fine.
Alright.
Mm-hmm.
We follow safe lead practices, but we do not have a lead certificate. Would be glad to discuss.
So you can't really entertain the bid?
I guess not, if that's what they need to do. I don't know. But we should,
Unless it's spelled out in the contract you signed with them that they'll be.
certified before they start, but it's July and it's rained
This is a
every
problem.
day.
This is a problem we had last year.
Yeah.
They gotta start. Get this lined up in the wintertime, basically.
Hmm.
Right.
That's new, because last year we didn't say anything about lead certification.
It's been out for a couple years. But see, this is the other.
I mean, because it says costs from delays and losses due to operations not in conformance to these acts, specifications, or stoppages by OSHA inspectors. But that's OSHA. Or the designated as a result of yeah, that's OSHA.
Just to back up a little bit, that RFP was not prepared by somebody at the state level. That was something James made.
Oh, right.
You guys can just out the window.
Paint the building. I mean, it's been painted
Well,
since there's been lead paint on it twice.
yes, and Dana has talked to me about this. It's,
They say there and they just soon sit down and discuss, and maybe that's what we should do.
Because I don't know, is it a requirement of the historical business?
No, this is just something
That he, okay. All right.
So then what, we should get them in here August 7th then?
see if he can make it in. Yeah.
Talk to them. No, I don't know what else to do. You know. We only got the one bid.
And what are we asking him to see if they will certify? Or what? Who are we getting into that? Opera House? No, who are we getting in?
No, the painters.
The painters. And ask them what?
Well,
We'll ask them about the certification and
Oh, okay.
what are they gonna
see,
do?
it says they said they'll discuss it with us.
Yeah, would be glad to discuss.
And then, you know, I don't know if we need to bring in, contact the Opera House person and find out what, how we stand historically
With that paint.
with that process.
With the
Keeping
process.
it in the historical
Hmm.
degradation. Or
Like,
whatever.
are they going to say, like, we're pulling your funding because you didn't follow the having somebody who's lead certified or what?
It's been painted before.
I know twice. At least twice.
I know, but it just gotta go through the hoop.
Everything is different.
Yeah.
Yes, if the 7th is gonna be our next meeting, we should get them.
Okay, I wrote that down too. I have his email.
Because we really need to move on this because,
Running out of
you know.
days.
Yeah,
you're
if it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You're already, you know, and they have jobs probably lined up, and
Right.
when summer gets here in October, they'll be ready to go.
You know that's going to happen. The minute I'm back in that hot box of a school, it's just going to turn on.
B-Day, did you put down on the agenda, we're gonna talk about that rock of Bev? Okay.
Okay. Now this is to confirm the August 14th meeting.
Yeah, she came
at the
in.
fire station. 6 o'clock.
So you've warned it?
I'm going to warn it Friday morning after initiative is going to give me their stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, coordinate meeting with the Enosburgh Initiative Committee, trustees, and the select board.
Oh no.
Got a problem, Paula?
Yes. So the week I just had, so last week I had a select board meeting this Monday night, and then I had a school board meeting on Tuesday night, and then I had a DRB meeting on Wednesday night, and I left that DRB meeting going, what did I just do? And I'm like, oh, but that's okay, it'll never happen again. It's just weird that it fell that way because of the July 10th, right? We moved our meeting. Well, guess what? We're moving our meeting again. And so I'm gonna have 3 in a row.
Well, that's what you
I
get the
told
big
you
bucks
last
for.
week you're professional.
What's that?
You're a professional meeting goer.
I'm a professional meeting goer. Exactly.
So we could probably talk about our meeting dates in lieu of knowing we're gonna have this one the 14th, which would not be a regular Monday, but we could change our third one and just meet after the.
I mean, after the.
Because we
the other
got
meeting
to
on the
warn it
14th.
special anyways.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we just warn it special, have a special select board meeting that coordinates with these guys.
Because that's not their normal meeting either.
No,
Yeah, right.
no,
Okay.
it wouldn't be theirs.
Okay.
Every time you congregate between boards, you have to warn it special, so you might as well serve them as a select board meeting date. And just cancel the 21st one. Oh, and then you got Labor Day afterwards?
Yeah, that's gonna screw us again.
So we're gonna have to go the 14th and the 21st.
Why? Because you don't want to go from the 14th all the way to the 11th?
Well, we would be doing that for so long.
I would go for the 7th. Exactly what BJ just said. We've got 2 more Mondays in July.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And
okay.
we want this paint situation to go
Right.
get up there on.
All right, so let's do 7th and the 14th.
And we'll know. I mean, if the 14th things aren't going good, we may have to move our back to the 21st to meet again. If it's
Well, do you want to start at 5:30 that night and get a little something in?
No.
No.
5:30, that Enosburgh Initiative meeting is going to be up there.
Well,
Yeah.
they can be in the big room and we can be in the
Oh,
small
yeah,
room.
we could do that.
their meeting,
Before,
they meeting before our.
to get their game plan
Yeah.
to come and talk to us.
So you guys been to their meetings? How long have they been lasting?
He's pretty good. He shuts it right off at 7.
So,
It's an hour. Like he just shuts it down.
so that would work for us to have our meeting after.
Right
Hey, if
after
we-
the joint meeting. What?
Yeah.
I mean, we can try to show up early, and if we're not gonna get through all our stuff,
We can do whatever.
do a
After.
continuation to the end of the joint meeting.
Okay.
But we'll probably know more after.
This one.
It's just that she has to warn. If we're
Oh,
gonna meet at
really?
5:30, she has to warn that for 5:30. I think we just meet at 6 and.
I think it's just too much.
I-
Because that meeting, yeah. I mean, for what, the 7th or the 14th?
14th.
The 14th, you see, we're all meeting at 6.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we would have our select board meeting after the meeting. If they, like you said, if they go over an hour and done.
Because he's like Johnny on the spot. Like, he shuts people down, he limits them in their talking.
Mm-hmm.
And we shouldn't be sitting too bad for an agenda having a meeting the week before.
Right.
But Enosburgh Initiative, let's say they talk for an hour, and then we talk about what we want to talk about. I'll probably go another half hour.
Yeah. That's why I say it's
But 7:30. But our agenda, how big could it be?
So I'm
think
just
about tax
saying-
time. We don't walk out of here until 9:30.
well, I know, but
Yeah.
with us meeting with the village.
If it doesn't, if we can't crowd everything in on that night, we still can go the following Monday. It's just has to warn it. That
But you
week
gonna have
or
enough
whatever.
time to warn it?
It's a regular meeting.
It's a regular.
Okay.
We would just say canceled if we're doing it.
All right. 7/14/21.
Yeah, probably should just let Larry Fisk know that we are meeting on the 7th because he was unsure, I think, when he left last time. Alright, so I've got something from Lori LeGros. Do these two go together?
No, one's a check from,
Oh, okay, this is Janice Maynard?
The inheritance from the Janice Maynard Trust that has been ongoing for quite a few years. They're starting to sell some of the, to disperse some of the funds that she had from when she passed away. And so that's a portion of it.
That's the first part of it, Larry.
So we've got,
That's the first part of it. I guess there's more.
and it
coming.
went to the ambulance, and we didn't budget for that.
No.
Right?
Robert said he'd kind of like to. He's trying to get the. This he talked about that laughing gas area.
Oh yeah, the
last time.
nitrous
So
oxide.
he's trying to. Of course, he's trying to go through the district. Got to have the district.
$11,000
Got to have the
dollar
district,
donation.
okay it before he can.
Oh,
Before he
okay.
can use it here. So he's working
that's
on that
okay, so the
now.
next
Oh,
one
good.
he's on
Told
the
me
7th,
today
so
he's going to
just-
have a.
And it's here, so the
He could
7th.
only
Has
meet
he
with-
watched this live?
How did he know we were talking about that?
They are asking me
Because
if you're
he
watching
couldn't.
us
He couldn't talk to the doctor live at their meeting last Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
So they had to, was by phone. So
Right.
he says, I'm going to set up a meeting with the
That
doctor
hasn't been
live.
Oh, good.
So I
Okay.
can.
Okay.
Oh,
So
good.
he was talking about using some of that money for that.
Okay.
Who's that, Larry?
An electrician.
So there's a lot more in this fund that's going to be handed
I don't
out.
know a lot more, but it's a portion.
Yeah,
They didn't
but we
say
don't know.
plus or minus how many percent.
Is she going? Is it going to be donated to different branches, or basically the ambulance all the time?
No, there's many different people that were businesses or groups or whatever that were mentioned in her will. So
Okay.
they've all gotten a portion of the disbursement, and then I think they have to wait, sugar things
Once
off,
and settles
then,
it out.
Then do the final amount.
Well, that's should be put to good use.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Lori the girl. Need a person to mow. We went up to mow the cemetery, so it should be okay for another couple of weeks. The grass is getting really tall, makes it hard to mow. Not sure what the town wants to do or can do. Not very happy because someone went up there and smashed 2 chairs that have been up there for a very long time. Plus we found cartilage shell casing inside the cemetery. People think it is okay to drive all over the lawns up there. It is too bad that people can't leave the cemetery alone. Okay to go visit, but breaking things or driving all over the place.
Which cemetery is she talking about?
Stoneville.
The Stoneville. Where's that one
It's
again?
up by George Carpenter's,
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
kind of the back of Carol Wright's corn pit.
Right.
That's the one there that,
who I used to-
yeah.
And that one, she just mows it.
Her and her husband have been mowing it. It's a close cemetery. So my suggestion is just to find somebody, send them up and ask for
So what, she asked you for somebody to mow it? No.
Right, they moved away, they sold their home.
Oh, they have.
Yeah.
Oh, Lori's not around.
Right, they moved away to Milton or Georgia.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, so, one of the Engstrom boys, Mr. Engstrom was the produce man at the store. One of his sons and their wife bought it. So she's asking for somebody now to mow, but I have not even been up to see the task that it will be, so.
Yeah.
You guys knew a couple people, asked them to give you a bid.
I mean, we can ask the guys that are mowing our other places if they would put a bid on that for this year.
Yeah, we stop mowing in other places.
Mm-hmm. We're not
Stop
mowing.
mowing the dairy center.
Correct.
Porta potties are gone. Thank the man.
Get him out of
There's still doing cemetery up there, Stevens Ferry. And there's still here, the Opera House and the fields at the fire station.
here. Oh wait, Stevens Ferry. That isn't that down where the Iron Bridge is? Right. Okay. I got that right. There's a cemetery?
Yeah, right when you go past the girls' shop.
Yeah.
And you're headed towards Beer Center. It's on the left.
Do we control all the cemeteries, or does the village have some too?
Everybody.
Oh,
different,
yeah.
Different caretakers, overseers of
Past the
certain
girls'.
cemeteries.
Yeah,
Past the
we
dairy
have
center.
grounds up there at the Enosburgh Center Cemetery, you know. I mean, every year we have a meeting and
Yeah.
decide who's going to do it.
See, they're he knows who the overseers of that particular the center cemetery is. The town has Stevens Ferry and Stoneville. And then certain churches have other cemeteries. But we're not responsible for all.
Well, the reason I ask is the one that's over here.
Main Street,
Yeah.
our own association.
Yep. Remember.
Remember?
Okay.
Remember.
All right.
Are we still? Are you done? Are we filming? Are you still filming? Oh, you are. Okay.
We haven't made a motion to.
Oh, motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded to adjourn. Any more discussion? Have none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.